I honestly have no words to describe how I feel about this episode. I'm literally at a loss for words. What I'm feeling is definitely not positive, however. We already had to see Roy taste bitter defeat. Now we had to see Liko go through the same thing, and I have no idea why. I know that failure breeds success, builds character, and is a great teacher, but I feel that they went a little too far with our two protagonists. They didn't just fail, they were completely and totally destroyed. Both physically, as in they were wrecked in battle, they never stood a chance, and mentally, as in they were both deprecated. They were left feeling awful, feeling like failures. It just hurts to see. It's a level of despair that such likable characters shouldn't go through, especially so early and so frequently. Add to this the fact that both battles were nothing to write home about, and that the second Pokemon were both equally disrespected, and you get 2 episodes that left me feeling completely disappointed, shocked, and just plain horrible. It's even worse in Liko's case though, since at least Roy's chance at a comeback was clear. But currently we have no idea if and when Liko might get to redeem herself. This uncertainty makes her downfall much more difficult to digest. So let's break the episode down. I will tell you exactly what happened, my thoughts and opinions on it, and what I think the episode did right and what it did wrong. The episode begins with Liko and friends continuing their journey to the Glaciado Gym for Liko's implementation test battle against Grusha. Their attention soon turns to several kids sledding with Setoro, something that will soon be relevant. Once they get to the gym, Liko is told that she must wait to take her test. Since they have time to spare, Roy and Dot are eager to try Setoro sledding, which has been booming in the area recently. Liko, however, is not quite so eager, because she will be taking her test soon. Clearly, she just wants to focus on that, but she is left without the ability to refuse. The sledding goes well for the most part. Dot almost falls off Setoro, but Quaxwell saves her. Roy and Fuecoco almost crash into a pile of snow, but Fuecoco burns through it. These minor issues aside, they have fun. Liko also has fun despite having her share of difficulties as well. Terapagos almost slides off, but Setoro saves it. They almost crash into trees, but Floragato uses her flower yo-yo to steer them through safely. They almost fall off a cliff, but Floragato drops snow from trees to halt their advance. Though it turns out, as pointed out by Dot, that they weren't really in any danger, which makes them all get a good laugh. Grusha, who happens to be nearby, sees them having fun, and he says that Liko must be quite confident since she is goofing around right before her test. This is a very unfair assessment, of course, because Liko did not want to goof off. Her friends did. She wanted to focus on the test. Moreover, she is far from confident, not just here, but at all times. In fact, she was clearly feeling uneasy when thinking about her test. Grusha does not know her, yet he judges her purely based on what he sees and assumes, which is not cool, something that is unbecoming of an Ice-type specialist. Also, I seriously hope that they are not trying to paint Liko as someone that would fool around because she's confident right before having to do something serious in an attempt to justify what happens later. This is very much not who Liko is. She would never do this. Quite the opposite, in fact. Like I said for Roy, trying to change a character to fit a narrative necessity is definitely not right. So Liko and friends head back to where they, I assume, rented the Setoro. Liko soon spots Grusha on the cover of a magazine, which gets her attention, prompting the owner of the place to reveal Grusha's backstory. Once upon a time, he was a very talented snowboarder that won many tournaments. However, one day his promising career ended due to an injury sustained after avoiding a Setoro in his path. He refused to stay down though. Instead, he chose a different field to excel in, Pokemon battles, which allowed them to rise to the top via another path. The owner reveals that Grusha could have kept snowboarding but likely chose not to because he could no longer get the results he wanted, aka he could not be at the top. Something that would not sit well with him because he places a lot of importance on results. I did not expect that we would get Grusha's backstory, considering that thus far, no other gym leader in this series has received this treatment. Not even Iono, who has made multiple appearances. I think that this is a little unfair. I would love to learn more about the other gym leaders as well. I guess that Grusha gets to be the only one thus far to get this honor because his backstory shaped him to be the way he is today. Laser focused on results and results alone, placing little to no importance on the process or the effort that led to said results, an outlook that would go on to have dire consequences for Liko later in this episode. Now, his backstory was already known from the games, though I'm pretty sure they never revealed the accident that led to his injury. Moreover, the Setaro that follows him around in both the anime and the games was, according to Horizons, the same one that caused the said accident, and Grusha caught it after consoling it when it paid them a visit, sad and remorseful because of the pain it inflicted. So Horizons actually expanded his backstory in a nice and fitting way, which is something I can appreciate. Hopefully this is done for other characters as well in the future. So Liko declares that she will do her best, aiming to get Grusha to approve of her. Oh Liko, if only you knew. She soon receives word that it's time for her test. At the battlefield, the battle gets underway with little fanfare. Grusha's first Pokemon is Say Titan, while Liko goes with Floragato first. Using Quick Attack, she darts around her colossal foe, but once she goes in for the hit, Say Titan is unfazed. It counters with Icicle Spear, which Floragato swiftly avoids. She fires back with Magical Leaf, but Say Titan uses Ice Spinner to deflect it and land a direct hit, forcing Liko to make an early substitution. Say Titan uses Icicle Spear, but Hattrem uses Confusion to turn the attack against it to devastating effect, briefly giving me hope that maybe Hattrem would be able to shine, that she would be able to put up a good fight. Unfortunately, I was in for a very rude awakening. She follows up with Brutal Swing. However, with a combination of Liquidation and Ice Spinner, Say Titan manages to overpower and defeat her. What can I even say at this point? This level of disrespect was horrible with Tinkatink and with Kilowattrel. With Hattrem, it's just as bad, if not worse, considering that she has pummeled so many Pokemon with ease thus far, yet she falls so easily in an actual battle. Plus, her starter co-star is at a massive type disadvantage, meaning that Hattrem was the better choice, the one that should have carried the team in this battle. I continue to wonder what was even the point of making the implementation test require 2 Pokemon, if in the end, these starters end up having to do all the work anyways. Additionally, why bother having Wattrel and Athena evolve if they are not allowed to do anything worthwhile with their increase in power? So, Say Titan uses Ice Spinner, which Floragato avoids. It then tries to use Icicle Spear, but Floragato shoots Magical Leaf into its mouth, bypassing its colossal natural bulk, allowing her to cause massive damage, forcing Grusha to swap Pokemon. He sends out his ace, Altaria. Floragato uses Quick Attack, but Altaria stays out of reach simply by flying. It then uses Moon Force. Floragato counters with Magical Leaf. Both moves cancel each other out. Altaria proceeds to spam Moon Force. Floragato avoids each one with some difficulty. Recalling what Floragato did to save them during the Setaro Sledding, Liko has her lasso Altaria with her Flower Yo-Yo, getting it closer and throwing it off balance, allowing her to land a hit with Acrobatics. Seeing this as her chance to turn the tables for good, Liko uses Terrastal. Much like Roy when he battled Rhyme the first time, using Terrastal too early serves as a clear foreshadowing of the grim outcome that follows. Something that is fitting since in the games, and this applies to every gimmick, using Terrastal at the wrong time could cost you the battle. Predictably, Grusha responds in kind. While Altaria losing its 4 times resistance to grass gives Liko hope, a clash between Ice Beam and the Magical Leaf, which appears to be even, soon turns against Floragato. Eventually, Magical Leaf is overpowered, leading to her being frozen and ultimately defeated. Liko is of course sad because she lost and she feels like it's her fault. She fell short. However, Roy and Dot reassure her, saying that she did her best, so she could still pass the test. However, Grusha soon reveals that she fails, citing that no matter how hard she tried, the result is what matters. Passing her when she lost would be a joke. Ouch. The episode ends with Liko looking completely devastated, much like Roy when he lost. A face that just breaks my heart to see. So yeah, what more can I really add? Most of us expected that Liko would lose, but at the same time, all of us expected that she would pass the test, not only because she passed the previous one despite losing and Dot passed both tests, even though she lost both times, but also because surely they would not have 2 characters lose and fail back to back. But obviously we were wrong, much to our shock. Now look, Liko clearly still has a long way to go. She is far from being strong or skilled. But she is not weak either, and she definitely tries her hardest despite lacking confidence. So I don't think she deserves to be treated like this. Failing her was too harsh even if it's perfectly in character for Grusha. I guess the writers realized that this series has been mostly smooth sailing so far, with the main characters getting by successfully despite losing, lacking strength, and lacking confidence and skill. They had to shake things up, which is fine. After all, if the characters can succeed, no matter what, then what's the point, right? There would be no stakes, robbing the series and its battles of much intensity and meaning. But again, they went a little too far. Have the characters fail, no problem, but don't have them be completely humiliated. This just makes the show painful to watch, which is not what you want for your audience. That about sums up how I feel. I covered everything else I liked and hated as I broke the episode down. Except for 3 things. Sentaro, all of them, but especially Grusha's, were adorable. Grusha himself was well adapted into the anime, even if I cannot approve of the way he treated Liko. I know it's not necessarily his fault since he was set up to be the villain here and his backstory does inform his decisions and the way he acts, but I can't exactly say I liked him in this episode. Hopefully, if Liko does get her rematch, we can see his good side, which I know exists. It's just that it's hidden under an ice-cold facade that can only be melted by a heated battle that Liko will hopefully provide. Finally, I just have to emphasize that I did not like this battle. It had a few good moments, sure, but as a whole, it wasn't very good. So yeah, overall, this episode was, well, awful. There is very little I can praise about it, and none of it can ease the pain or wash away the bitterness caused by the many things about it that I absolutely cannot compliment or approve of. These next few episodes better be something truly spectacular, because they have a lot to make up for. But that's the review and the video. Please let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below, and click on the links on screen now to see my reviews of the previous 3 episodes. I will see you over there. Thank you so very much for watching.